Good news is your dates are here.
What's the bad news?
They're dead.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster! Everybody's a suspect! Hey, Ted, where the hell's Corkscrew? Don't fuck with the Chuck!
Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends is the concluding chapter in the Halloween franchise so far, but it's also the concluding chapter in the David Gordon Green trilogy. I hope they just let it stay dead for a little bit before they reboot it, because I know Hollywood and how they're going to be. But it's a very divisive movie. A lot of people hate it, and I'm one of those people. It's not good in any way. But Corey Cunningham is the new character, and I call him Copycat because he's literally a copycat of Michael Myers. He's babysitting this kid named Jeremy. His parents are going out to party. He seems like a little nice kid at first, but the second his parents leave, he turns into this little fucking asshole.
And I don't really feel like pretending to be best friends with an ugly ass boy babysitter.
He starts messing around with Corey, and they're playing like hide and seek, and he ends up locking Corey into some closet upstairs or something. He can't get out, so he keeps kicking the door. And as his parents come home, they open the front door. Corey kicked the door, hits Jeremy, and he falls over the banister. It was such an intense opening. He like snaps his neck and like gives himself like whiplash. It's really taboo to see since a kid, but little guy had it coming. He sucked. The opening sequence is okay. The score is kind of a combination of 2018 and Halloween Kills, but it's got the blue lettering and an homage to Season of the Witch. Laurie kind of narrates the 1978 original movie about how Michael's now confined to a prison. She disappeared in her prison being a survivalist, literally being a shut-in. There's a time jump in this one. It's 4 years after Halloween Kills. Michael's living in the sewers now. He's all like really crusty, and he got the shit kicked out of him in Halloween Kills. He got shot, stabbed, beat, so he's kind of like very weak. Because they never found Michael's body, I guess the town started killing it themselves because they couldn't live in fear anymore. I don't know. It's a very messy movie. But we get to see Laurie baking Allison a pumpkin pie, and she's a really shitty baker because the pie catches on fire, so we can see her really shitty skills. Since the incident, the whole town's kind of shut Corey out, so to speak. He's definitely an outcast now. Everywhere he goes, people are mean to him, and he goes to the gas station to get like a little chocolate milk after work, which he's always late to work. So his dad gives him a little motorcycle to kind of fix up and gives him transportation. But he goes to the gas station, and this Oliver Tree and friends looking pack of shit rats are bullying him, and they push him down, and the shard goes in his hand, he gets a little boo-boo. Laurie shows up and kind of scares him off, and she gives him a knife to pop the tire. They had it coming. But he goes to the hospital, get his hand looked at, and he's introduced to Allison, and they're kind of being flirtatious and kind of hitting it off. She kind of makes a move on Corey, but he just shrugs it off. He keeps saying, "You don't want to be mixed up with a guy like me." That whole speech. But yeah, he goes home, eating dinner with his parents, and we get to see his mom. She's a fucking slob because they're eating spaghetti, and she's got so much spaghetti sauce around like the rim of her glass. It's fucking gross. But when he met Allison, he told her that he could fix her car for her because it's starting to rattle. So she goes up to the junkyard, and he's kind of talking with her for a minute, and then the car with the pop tire, the little shit rats, they go up there and they see him talking to her, so we already know what's gonna happen. Hawkins meets up with Laurie at the supermarket, and they're kind of making moves on each other. It's cute, I'll give it that. It's a cute little moment. But when Laurie's leaving Sandra from Halloween Kills, she's out there with her sister. Sandra's sister's kind of yelling at Laurie, like, "Your boogeyman did this to my sister, blah, blah, blah." You see this wicked ass scar on her throat from when the light bulb went in there. That was a pretty painful one. But yeah, we get to see that she's still alive. Laurie's kind of deeply affected by that, so she sits and cries in her car. Hawkins shows up, and they start talking about the cherry blossoms. It's part of her book that she's writing now. I don't know, I guess she's turning into Gale Weathers or some shit. Corey and Alice end up going to like a bar/party. He's kind of letting loose, and they go to a kissing booth, and they're getting all these pictures taken and everything. He goes to grab a beer, and Jeremy's mom is there just wigging out, and you know, she has every right to. She's like screaming at Corey and calling him a murderer and shit like that. So Corey ends up storming off, and Allison goes after him, and he just explodes on Allison saying, "Why would you take me there?" Blah blah blah. As he's leaving, those little shit rats fucking They start messing with Corey again. They kind of get like a little altercation, and then they throw him over the bridge. They all take off because they think he's dead. We see like his unconscious body being drug off. So Michael comes from the sewer. He wakes up in the sewer. He sees the light at the end of the tunnel. So he starts walking towards it, and Michael comes out of like the sewer, like this little like crevice, starts choking Corey. And I guess we can see all the pain and trauma through Corey's eyes, and Michael senses that. So they kind of like confide in each other a little bit. It's a little weird for me, but yeah, he lets him go, and some homeless guy knows that Michael's in the sewer and was like, he let you live. Why did he let you live? And he tries to kill Corey, but Corey ends up actually stabbing him multiple times, killing the homeless guy. But then it cuts to like Lori looking out the window, and she sees Corey right by a bush in her yard, and it's kind of mimicking the original when Michael's on the side of the bush. But yeah, she goes outside to see him. She sees Corey, and she sees the pain in his eyes, and it's the same look that Michael has or something. So she's very like weary of Corey. He tells Allison that he apologizes for the fight and that he killed someone. Takes Allison to Jeremy's house and uses Jeremy's death as like the one who died. So like he told someone, but he's using his trauma as a crutch in a sense. Yeah, Lori goes to talk to Corey's mom, and Corey's mom is just literally a huge bitch in this movie. She's yelling at Lori, like, your boogeyman did this and blah, blah, blah. So like, since Michael left town, no one can find him, they have to put the blame on the new Michael. So like, the town just hates Corey. But Corey and Allison go to grab a little bite, and they're talking about how they want to burn Haddonfield to the ground and just leave and start somewhere fresh. This cop that like pulled her over in the beginning, I guess they went on like a date or something. He shows up and is kind of busting Allison's balls, and Corey snaps. So like, he takes Allison home, the cop trails him. I think Corey knew that, so he goes to the sewer, he attacks the cop kind of gets away and chases Corey through like the sewers, and you just hear him giggling. And one of the dumbest fucking moments of this film, which there's a lot, Officer Mulaney chases him into the sewer, and we get to see him with a flashlight, and he looks at the wall, and you see like an imprint of Michael's mask in the wall, and you see Michael not even a foot away from it, clear as day, doesn't see him. He's hunched over, like all weak and shit. So they pretty much fight the cop, and Corey's like holding him. Michael pulls out his knife from the wall and starts stabbing him repeatedly. It triggered something in Corey, so he wants to do that now. We get to see Corey go back to Allison's place. They have coitus. In the morning, he sees a scarecrow mask on the dresser, so he takes it, and now that's his like persona. Lori ends up talking to Lindsay Wallace at the bar. Jeremy's dad's at the bar. They're kind of talking and explaining and kind of getting to know a little bit more backstory on Corey and how he's a good kid. He's like, the kid that used to mow my lawn is not the same kid he is now. His eyes are different. Yeah, that's stupid. Allison's boss, Dr. Mathis, and his assistant that he's sleeping with, a redheaded nurse, I don't fucking know her name. She goes to get in the shower. Corey kills Dr. Mathis with his scarecrow mask on, and he's trying to attack the redhead nurse, and Michael's in the house. Kills her, stabs her in the chest, pins her to the wall, recreating the Bob from the original. With each victim, Michael and Corey get stronger because Corey's hand's starting to heal. He takes his bandage off and is starting to heal. I don't know, like this weird psychic connection between them. It makes zero fucking sense. He takes Allison to the radio tower, and he tells him like the radio tower, during the whole incident with Jeremy, he would go there to find like solace, and it was his hope to getting out of the town and everything. They hop down off the building, the radio tower manager or whatever, the DJ, he comes out and pretty much tells him to fuck off, get off his property. But you see Lori off in the distance spying on him. So Corey ends up going home. His mom starts like yelling at him. She slaps him and then kisses him on the lips for hitting him. What? Makes no sense at all. It's Halloween night now. He left the house and he went to Jeremy's house, and he's sleeping in the same exact spot where Jeremy died. But he wakes up to Lori. She pretty much like, you're not gonna date Allison anymore. Like, you're not gonna hurt her, I'm not gonna let you. He does the classic, well, if I can't have her, no one can. They have like a little interaction there. It goes nowhere. After that, Corey ends up going to the sewer. You got something I need. And has like a little slap fight with Michael, tackles him to the ground, unmasks him, and makes Michael Myers look like a fucking pussy. That's what I said. He puts the mask on, the overalls. When he's got the mask on, he even acts, breathes, walks, kills literally like Michael. And it's such horse shit. But those shit rats end up going to his junkyard where he works, and they start damaging his bike. He kills all of them, but the VHS rewind moment is when he kills shit rat number 1, I don't know his name, with the blowtorch. We see Corey go to his house, he ends up killing his mom, and then he goes to the radio tower, ends up killing the DJ, which, fuck it, that's the second VHS rewind. When he kills the radio DJ, he cuts out his tongue, and his tongue's on the record player. Like, that was cool. But when he's at the radio station, we get a cameo from Darcy from Joe Bob, so she's in it. That's cool.
Joe Bob says check it out.
After that, it goes to Lori calling 911, saying she's reporting a suicide. She shoots the pumpkin that's in her room. Corey opens up the door, and she's like,
"Did you really think I'd kill myself?"
Shoots him, he falls down the banister. She goes down to unmask him, and she pretty much like shoots the wall a couple times to make it look like if there was gonna be a struggle, she has a right to defend herself. And, he hears Allison pull up, and he says, "If I can't have her, no one can." Stabs himself in the neck. So when Lori pulls the knife out, Allison opens up the door and makes it look like she killed him. After that, like, she storms off, and Lori's actually getting ready to kill herself, but she sees her back door open. She knows Michael's there, so she hides in the closet. Michael ends up like legitly finally killing off Corey, snaps his neck, and Lori and Michael go at it for about 25 seconds. She ends up pinning him to the table with 2 knives. She throws a fridge on him. She ends up unmasking him, slits his throat, and she like slices his wrist, so like he's dead. The whole town gets together and they put him on the roof of the car, and all I can think of is like Styles from Teen Wolf, Surfing USA. They take him to the junkyard. They all watch him being thrown in the grinder. They turn it on, grinding Michael up, and that is the end of the movie. Hawkins and Lori finally get like their happiness. That's it. Thank fucking God, because this movie was a pain to get through. It was a pain to do a review on it. But as Queen says, "Show must go on." But yeah, that's Halloween. That was my review for Halloween Ends. And now that we're done with the series, next is It Chapter 1, and then It Chapter 2, and then we're gonna do a couple more one-offs, and then going into July, we're gonna do Friday the 13th, because it's the perfect summer movie, you know? Don't forget to share it, turn the bell notification on, do your thing, like, subscribe. Until then, see you later.